I had been away on a business trip to Nairobi for 2 weeks, sealing deals that would expand my father's empire in South Sudan. As the son of Reuben, one of Juba's most influential businessmen, my life was a whirlwind of luxury, private flights, high-stakes meetings, and endless opportunities. But nothing compared to the thought of returning to my fiancée, Aisha. We had been engaged for a year, our union a perfect match of status and beauty. As my driver pulled up to our grand villa on the outskirts of Juba, overlooking the White Nile, I stepped out into the warm evening air. The city lights flickered in the distance, a mix of modern high-rises and the chaotic energy of the markets. I walked up the path, eager to surprise her. There she was, sitting on the veranda, a single rose flower in her hand. She looked distant, twirling the stem absent-mindedly, her eyes fixed on the horizon. Aisha. I called softly, my heart skipping a beat. She turned, but her smile was forced, lacking the warmth I remembered. Tonny, you're back. She stood, the rose slipping from her fingers to the ground. Something was wrong, terribly wrong. Little did I know, this moment would unravel my perfect world and lead me to an unexpected destiny. Across the city, in the dusty slums of Juba's Munuki neighborhood, Viola and Tonny lived a life far removed from mine. At 23, she was the daughter of Charles, a frail vegetable seller in his late 40s, who scraped by selling produce at the Konyo market. Their home was a modest mud brick hut with a leaky roof, shared with neighbors who battled for survival amid the post-conflict struggles of South Sudan. Viola was her father's everything. She helped him at the market, her hands calloused from peeling mangoes and sorting greens under the scorching sun. That morning, as they crossed the busy Jebel Road to reach the market, tragedy struck. A speeding matatu minibus swerved out of control. "Papa, watch out." Viola screamed, but it was too late. The vehicle hit Charles, throwing him to the ground. Blood pooled around him as bystanders gathered. Viola knelt beside him, tears streaming down her face. "Papa, stay with me." Charles's eyes fluttered open, his voice weak. "Viola, be strong. If I go, let my organs help someone, promise me." He squeezed her hand, whispering of a better life for her. Paramedics rushed him to Juba Teaching Hospital, but the damage was severe, internal injuries that no amount of prayer could heal. Days turned into a blur of hospital vigils for Viola. Charles drifted in and out of consciousness, his body failing. One evening, he called her close. "My daughter, if God calls me, donate my kidneys. Let me save a life." Viola sobbed, "No, Papa, you'll fight this." But deep down, she knew. 3 weeks later, the monitors flatlined. Nurses rushed in, but it was over. Viola collapsed, wailing in the sterile hallway. The doctor approached gently, he requested organ donation. "We've started the process." Through her grief, Viola nodded. "Honor his wish." Months passed. Viola, now alone, sold fruits by the roadside near the Nile Bridge, her best friend Leila by her side. She visited Charles's grave often, whispering, "Papa, your gift is out there somewhere." Little did she know, his kidney would bridge worlds. Back in my world, life seemed invincible. Negro Tonny, heir to Reuben's import-export fortune, with villas, cars, and Aisha by my side. But a nagging pain in my back started during that trip. I ignored it at first, stress, I thought. Weeks later, the fatigue set in, my skin paling. Aisha noticed. "Tonny, see a doctor." Reluctantly, I went to Juba's finest clinic. The diagnosis hit like a storm, a kidney failure. Both organs were shutting down. "You need a transplant," the doctor said gravely. My father, Reuben, wept beside me. "I'll give you mine, son." But tests showed incompatibility. Aisha's support waned. "Tonny, you're not sending money anymore," she complained from my hospital bed. When I begged her to test for donation, she recoiled. "Me? Give up a kidney? You're mad." She stormed out, with her loyalty exposed as superficial. My men scoured South Sudan and beyond for a donor. Time was running out, I lay hooked to machines, the shadow of the vibrant man I once was. In the hospital's quiet corridors, hope flickered. A call came from another facility, a kidney from a deceased donor, preserved months ago, matched perfectly. It belonged to Charles, the poor vendor from Munuki, who had willed it for donation. The surgery was a success. As I recovered, I touched the scar, whispering thanks to the unknown savior. Whoever you are, your kindness lives in me. My father hugged me, tears in his eyes. A miracle, Tonny. Fate wove its threads. One evening, driving through Juba's markets, I spotted Viola selling mangoes under a tattered umbrella. Her kind smile and resilient spirit drew me in inexplicably. I stopped, bought her entire stock, overpaying generously. Share the rest with those in need, I said. Days later, robbers raided Viola's hut, stealing her earnings. Desperate, she sought work through a neighbor who knew my household cook. She arrived at my villa, only to face Aisha's jealousy. But I hired her cooking was divine, then something deeper stirred. Dreams haunted me, Viola crying, a connection I couldn't explain. Gifts followed, tensions with Aisha escalated. She tried to sabotage Viola, even attempting to poison the food, caught on camera. I ended things with Aisha, banishing her from my life. 1 year post-transplant, my father remarked on the anniversary. Viola overheard, piecing it together. It was my father's kidney, she whispered, tears flowing. The truth dawned, Charles had saved me. No wonder the pool, I felt his spirit through her. At his grave by the Nile, I knelt. Thank you, Charles. I promised to care for Viola. Turning to her, I proposed, marry me. Let me build the life he dreamed for you. Our wedding was a joyous affair in Juba's grand hall, blending Dinka traditions with modern flair. Viola walked down the aisle, radiant. My father toasted to Charles, whose goodness endures. As we danced under the stars, Viola whispered, Papa's rose found its way back. I held her close, the rose from that fateful veranda, a distant memory, replaced by true love. Kindness echoes beyond death, connecting souls in unexpected ways. In giving, we receive, in loss, we find new life. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more like this to come.